Hello everyone and welcome to MTQ&A. My name is Bradley and I am a professional musical theater nerd. This is the place for us to dig into all of your musical theater questions. If you have a question, go ahead and put it in the comments below and I will answer that in a future video. So let's hop in. Charlie asks, do I need to be in New York in order to work in this industry? The short answer is no. I myself have been a working booking actor in San Diego and in St. Louis, and there is a really rich theater scene in plenty of regional markets. Also Dallas, DC, Minneapolis. There are plenty of places where you can make a name for yourself if that's what you want. The slightly more nuanced answer is maybe. There really are few places like New York where everyone who's doing theater across the country is seeking talent from a place like New York. There are really few places where you could be an auditioning actor in the way that you can in New York. That sort of pacing, that sort of opportunity that you get from daily or multiple auditions in a day, there's really nothing else like that, and it builds a stamina in actors that is really valuable. Now that said, we do live in a time where self-tapes are a real possibility. And so you might find that your balance finds you in a regional market where you send in self-tapes to bigger projects, and then when you need to fly to New York for that callback, maybe that works for you. Now, all of that being said, if your aspirations are Broadway, you kind of need to be in the room where it happens. You got to get there. Really gone are the days where there's going to be a touring production that comes through and auditions actors at the theater on a Saturday from the guts of America. That just doesn't really happen anymore. And so if your aspirations are Broadway, you got to find yourself to the Big Apple. Simon asks, what are some tips for auditioning for college musical theater programs? I am so glad that you asked that, and in fact, I've decided to do a whole other video on that. So go ahead and click on through to my video on 5 tips for auditioning for college programs. Jenny asks, where do you find new audition material? I feel like this answer comes with a caveat, because I used to think that I needed to find the song that no one else was doing. I thought that I really could wow people behind the table by finding the song that was off the beaten path and that was just, it would prove my cleverness. I have changed my tune a lot. I have tried to take out the word overdone from my vocabulary when it comes to talking about songs, because sometimes a standard is a standard because it's just that good. It has staying power. So now that said, but more to your question, where do I find things? Well, it sounds so simple, but I'm constantly stealing from others. I have a chance to teach and coach a lot, and so it is an opportunity as I'm working through a song with a student that I get to spend some time with new material that they might have found and brought into me. It's a great trade-off. I have a funny story about auditioning for grad school. At the time, Catch Me If You Can was still relatively new, and I had a student that came in with Fly Fly Away, and as I was helping them, I was like, this is a great song for you, and in parentheses I was like, and an even better song for me. And I used it, and I got into grad school with it. So the other thing to think on is if that's not a situation that pertains to you, I'm at competitions all the time and I'm constantly writing down songs. I'm at auditions and I'm writing down songs. I have YouTube and Spotify lists that are full of things that have intrigued me in my journeys. Now, if any of those options still don't yield anything, head over to newmusicaltheater.com. This will feature artists that are kind of just off the beaten path and might offer some things that are helpful for you. One other thought, if you have a song that you have heard from a new work, maybe reach out to that composer on socials. If that song is not yet on musicnotes.com, they might be interested in someone singing it. They might be interested in proliferating that. Check it out. Quinn asks, how did you become a music director? I love music directing, and it really does fall at the intersection of all of my passions. I went to school for music education, and so I have a lot of training in choral conducting. And so I tend to lead my rehearsals in a very educational, sort of objective-based manner. I also do my absolute bestest to keep my singers healthy and to teach this in a way that feels sustainable for them. Knowing that I was coming from a choral background, actually, when I was a student teacher, I really did seek a place where I could work on musicals. So 20 years ago, in the fall of 2004, I taught at Oshkosh West High School, and in that program, the music department was responsible for putting on the musical, not the theater department. So I was an assistant director for Les Miserables School Edition, and it was an incredible time, but it really did set me on a trajectory then when I started looking for jobs, of looking for situations where I would be in a position of music director. I taught for 9 years at Notre Dame High School in St. Louis, many, many happy memories, and every spring I got to help young singers learn how to be in a musical. It was great. Now, if you are thinking about being a music director, think about your experience in private voice, because you are going to need to be coaching principals. Think about your ensemble leading skills, because you're going to need to be able to work with both singers and instrumentalists. Think about your piano skills. You may or may not be able to rely on an accompanist. So how are you at plunking out notes? How are you at accompanying? These are some skills that you might need to hone and develop. Additionally, you can get some of these skills just on the job. And in fact, a lot of music directors find that they get their training on the job. But you could also get these things through church jobs, or through other teaching, or through summer camps that might need your assistance. All of these will be places to hone your craft. Folks, this has been MTQ&A. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. If you have a question, please feel free to put it into the comments and I will answer it in a future video. If you want more professional musical theater nerdery in your life, kickball change over to my channel and subscribe. And as always, make it a great day.